We are going to do this week Parashat Beshalach, and very fascinating, beautiful parasha. I mean, it's an epic parasha. The splitting of the Yam Suf, Man, Shabbat, everything is there. Everything is there. And as usual, we take things a little bit out of order in order to put it into the right order. We'll see what it is. There's a certain contradiction in the description of the event of splitting of the Red Sea, the Yam Suf. In the description, in one hand it says that Moshe, Yat Moshe Yado al Hayam, that he leaned his hand on the ocean, and then he says HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought a strong eastern wind all night long, and then the ocean became a charava, became a land, and then Bnei Israel went over there. So, what exactly happened here? Did Moshe Rabbeinu, what caused the splitting of the Yam Suf? What happened here? Moshe Rabbeinu, the wind. If you tell me Moshe Rabbeinu, so it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Huge miracle. If you're going to tell me it's a wind, natural. Moshe Rabbeinu was like the G-man, the weather person. He knew what it is, right? Is it so? Ini? The answer is no. It's not. What I'm about to tell you about Yam Suf, that portion, is something beautiful that I heard from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. It's beautiful things I would like to share with you. Something that I've seen, that I saw myself in numerous occasions, different documentaries. They talk about the splitting of the Yam Suf or the plagues of Mitzrayim, scientific things. People are really mesmerized by this whole miraculous events that happened there. They try to explain it this way, they try to explain it the other way. So let's see what exactly is going on here. And I'm saying it specifically. So it seems like that in the beginning, there is a complete violation of laws of nature. Moshe Rabbeinu leans his hand, the ocean splits, becomes like a wall from right to left, and so on and so forth. And it's a miraculous thing. Again, a disturbance in the natural occurrence of things. On the other hand, it seems like there is no violation of the laws of nature, and that the ocean or the water, it's just something quite natural, and it's not a big deal. But what makes it is a miracle, that second event, is that it happened at that time, right where Bnei Israel was there, and that seems to be the miracle. But there's a fundamental difference between the views of those two different point of views. The first one goes to the essence of the miracle. Is really exceptional, is different. It breaks away the laws of nature, violating them. It's awesome. We disturb nature just to help a group of people run into refuge or disappear into refuge or to gain freedom. That kind of a story is directed towards what we call the imagination of the child. In other words, it's a production. On the other hand, the explanation, which seems so natural, the wind, it is miraculous on a higher level and a different level altogether. And that's what we need to understand. And what I'm bringing you is because many times we have those conflicts, so-called between nature and this, and if you can prove it by science, and we tend to downgrade events that happen. Well, it's so on and so forth, and we're missing a lot. So that's why I'm trying to bring this. So, in a way, the Torah in this story of splitting of Yam Suf uses a certain type of irony. It's what one needs to understand that what turned the Egyptians into this mega power of the ancient world was the chariots. They were the first army to use, in that part of the world at least, to use chariots. Until then, I'm sure you watched some of, how do you call this? How do you call this Scottish guy? What's his name? I forgot his name. Braveheart, right? Type of war. Group of people stands on one side, other group of people stands on the other side. Everybody's running, banging on the thing. They run to each other. Boom, 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 boom. They bang. Whoever is stronger, slash it faster, stabs it deeper, wins the war. It's a brutal thing. Here comes the Egyptians, and they innovate something new. They make those very fast and extremely versatile vehicle machine wars. And in a way, the tanks of the old world. Try to imagine a brigade of soldiers with guns and Kalashnikovs and AK-47 and the whole entire thing, standing in front of 10, 20 tanks. They're just going to run them over. You can't match it. That's what turned the Egyptians into such a unbeatable and fearsome force in the old world. All the people, you need the resources for that. You need to have the metal and the craftsmen and the innovation and the training, and you have to hold an army. If you compare the Egyptian army, to the tribes that were there, the tribesmen were there, they had to have an army. You need to have a huge economy behind you to push such a thing, and that's why they were beating everybody up. And it's a big lesson for us to remember, and let's see what it is. So what happens in Yam Suf is what we call a poetic justice of first class, or first degree. Why? Because there's only one situation in which the technology has no advantage of that technology, or the top innovation in technology of the Egyptian battlefield has no advantage whatsoever. And that is not only that there's a situation like that, but that situation actually turns those machine wars into traps, death traps. And that situation where the one who is escaping and is running away from it could really win those chariots is called mud. Mud. They came in, and guess what happened? Comes the nation who tries to escape, and they going on foot in mud. They're making no progress. Here comes the army with those chariots, and I've seen examples of those chariots years ago in the Israeli Tank Museum in Latrun. They had built a replica of those chariots because it was the first armed vehicle in the history of the world. So they had it there. It was amazing to see it. Now, you see that thing, and the wheels are like this big. You have two guys standing on top, you have horses, and now they're going into deep mud. What happens is you get stuck. You get stuck. So now what happened? In the documentaries, they say And there's research that was supported by scientific research by numerous distinguished and well-respected universities throughout the world, in the United States and in England and so on and so forth. The map of the Middle East where we see it today was not how it was at the time. There was another river that was going on. And that river, and they prove it by a model, if you bring a strong wind of 60 miles an hour, 60 kilometers an hour, east will create a land barrier. It will basically, since the water are shallow, will push the ocean, push the river where it connects to the ocean, prevent it from flowing, and will create a land barrier in which people can cross from one side to the other side. And it's very easy to do it. How? You have satellites today. With satellites, you could see a lot of things that you can't see this way. Now, if you take the word Yam Suf, Suf is reeds. It's an ocean or sea of reed. Reeds grow in muddy areas. So when you push the water out, what are you left? Deep mud. Very deep mud. So when the wind came in and the chariots got stuck, now they can't go forward, they can't go backwards. They are stuck. They had to call Geico or AAA to come and pull them out. They're not going anywhere. They didn't have a winch on the front of the car like a jeep. They pulls them out. They were stuck. Now, Am Yisrael walked. The wind stopped blowing. What happens to the water? Comes back up again, and they get swallowed. If you understand that, that's what we say in Tefillah. Mashpil Giborim, right? Magbiya Shefalim, he who humiliates the arrogant and elevates the humble. That's what it is. The mighty ones. Mashpil Geima de Haaretz, Magbiya Shefalim at Marom. He puts those heroes down to the earth and lifts up to the heavens. The weak ones. We read this, if we read it like this, we understand that we are left here with a very important moral. A very important lesson that the first explanation, when it's plain miraculous Hollywood style, would not be able to deliver. And it's something for us to remember. We said in Tehillim, לא בשוקי האיש ירצה ולא בגבורות האיש יחפץ. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not interested in shokei ha'ish, in the strong legs of the men, or begvorot ha'ish, with heroes. He's not interested in that. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is what? רוצה Hashem et yereav et hameyachalim lechazdo. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants who? Those who have awe and fear Him, and those who are waiting for His kindness, or pray for His kindness. A tremendous lesson. And the way in which the event of Yam Suf was written up is mind-boggling. It's amazing. Why? Because we need to understand, and it's directed to us, we need to understand that as we grow up, our understanding of things change. When we stop being obsessed with the technicality of the miracle, what exactly happened miraculously? Where did this come from? We are missing the point when we just look at the miracle. We're missing the point completely. Because we are obsessed with the technicality of the miracle, we don't see actually what's happening here. Because the other one, which talks about the ruach, the wind that came in and split the ocean and make this into a dirt, so is ruach, your spirit. When you let the spirit and you focus into your spirit, you'll be able to get into much deeper depths and understand things differently. And I'll prove it to you now. Let's go a little bit backwards. When Bnei Israel was standing on Yam Suf, before they split, what is Moshe telling them? Right? And this is exactly what happens when they start quivering and shake and tremble. What do they do right away? When Am Israel does that, feels a little comfortable, what do they do? Complain. Why did you bring us here? Well, we want to go back. You came to kill us here. There are not enough places to bury us in Egypt. What are you doing? What Moshe is saying to them? Hashem yilachem ve'atem tacharishun. God will fight for you, and you would sit here and shh, quiet. Atem tacharishun. We need to understand that Bnei Israel, not a long time ago, before that, saw miracles upon miracles. They saw it. Now that the Egyptians pressed them, all the fears come back again. All the phobias that they had, all of a sudden they forgot that there are things in the world that are just beyond the human intellect or logic. There are things that they cannot and they should not understand. It's not their business. The fear comes. I mean, for crying out loud, you just saw miracles. You Kol Bechol Be'eretz Mitzrayim, every firstborn, Barad, hail, fire. And what are you saying? Oh, maybe there won't be another miracle. But there was a miracle for you. Aren't there any miracles now? I'll tell you that. When he tells them, when you keep quiet, only when you keep quiet, you allow the miracle to take place. Let HaKadosh Baruch Hu do what he needs to do. The miracle will happen. When Moshe tells them to be quiet, he tells them your internal noise that you create, that causes you not to see the miracle. This noise, this scatter that is in your head, as I showed you today, right? Let's look at the word Moshe is using. Moshe is using the word atem tacharishun, lehacharish. Lacharish, cheresh is quiet. But cheresh is also what? To plow, lachrosh. It's the same root as to plow. And what happens when you plow? You put the seed. You put the seed, and that's a miracle. You take the land, you cut it in half. You make you plow it. You take seed, you put it into the ground. You cover it. It rots. It ferments. It grows. It needs to grow. You need to let it dry. You harvest it. Now you take the seed, the abundance of seeds that came from that stalk of wheat. Now you need to grind it. You need to grind it. You need to make it, put water. You're going to make yeast. Now you're going to put it into the fire. Put this into the fire. Put this to the fire? Yes. Wait an hour, take it out. What do you have? You have bread. I'm going to ask you this. Isn't that a miracle? It's a huge miracle. It's an unbelievable miracle. But what do? We make a lot of noise. Well, scientifically speaking, let me explain to you. That's what happens scientifically. The enzyme that I put it in, the combination of the things, blah, 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 blah. It is a miracle, but you don't see it. You refuse to see it. It is a miracle that we are sitting here today. Rabbi Akavia ben Ma'alael says, Da mi'ayin bata ule'an ata olech. And so on. But let's concentrate. Da me'ayin bata. Know where you came from. Mitipas rucha. We are all, what are we, for crying out loud? Sorry to say that, but a piece of discharged mucus. So don't, hold so much of yourself. And yet, what a miracle. What a miracle. Do we celebrate our life or do we celebrate the miracle that we are alive? We make so much noise. It's a miracle that we get up in the morning. It's a miracle with all these things that happen to us in a day that we're still alive. But you don't see it. Nothing doesn't happen. Because you get used all the time to call miracles big productions. Fireworks. Thank you. Fireworks you want. You want splitting of the sea. You want hail from Shamayim. Did any of this add to anybody's Yirat Shamayim? Goodness, HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to them on Mount Sinai. They saw him. He spoke to them, each one individually. What did they do 40 days later? Okay, make a golden calf. Come on, let's dance. Shish kebab. United Steak and shish kebab. And so he says to the Moshe, shh, shh, quiet, quiet. Sit here to the side, and you're going to see it now. And Rabotai, it happens to you all the time. You make so much noise, such cacophony, that you can't even hear the natural beat of the miracle that happens that you call your life. It's noise that you make. And take your cell phones and you make even more noise. Everybody's talking. If you go outside in space and somehow will be able to listen, this place sounds like a beehive. Earth is unbelievable. Everybody's talking. At least one time they used to walk in the street. If you saw a person talking to himself, it's crazy. Today everybody's talking. If somebody's not talking, probably he's crazy. Or something's wrong. He doesn't have a phone. It looks like this. Maze. You have time to think. So you become stupider as time goes by. Because you don't sit and keep quiet. If you're going to sit in front of Albert Einstein and he's going to try to explain to you a marvelous idea in physics and creation, in order to learn from him, you need to keep quiet. But if you're going to talk to him, say, yo, Albert, let me tell you something. By the way, where'd you get your haircut? Listen, hold on a second. One second. Yeah, I'm busy right now, honey. I can't talk. You're not going to learn anything. If I'll bring to you Albert Einstein, you won't learn. That's the problem. So, and when we make so much noise and we don't identify, and we call the miracle by its name, miracle, we do shtuyot, we make mistakes, we act foolishly, we lie, we steal, and that brings us to the man. That brings us to the man, and it's all connected. The man has a tremendous, tremendous lesson for us to learn and remember. All the time we are comparing ourselves. We're comparing things. By the way, this is a sickness that we have in our society, to the point that we don't have the time to celebrate ourselves. Look at the young girls. They're always comparing themselves. Oh, I'm like this model. Did I lose the weight? I didn't lose the weight. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the body. Do the best with it. Now you're going to go into this comparison all the time. We compare all the time. Where am I? Where is he? At what point am I holding? What point does his person holding? What do I have? What does he have? What I don't have? This is dangerous. This is the worst thing you can do. Bnei Israel came out of Mitzrayim from the known into the unknown. They came to the desert. And you should know, are you cold? Why are you cold? Sit like this, you'll be warm. Relax. You're constricting the flow of energy in your body. Relax. After a few days, they're getting hungry. They want to eat. Hungry. And sometimes hunger could be also a spiritual hunger. So they're hungry. So what do they do when people are hungry?
Complain.
They complain. Complain. They're not trying to solve the problem. They complain. People who complain all the time usually don't want to solve the problem. They're not even if you solve them the problem, they're not interested in solving the problem. Because they just want to complain. You took their one thing that they live for is to complain. I knew a guy that I think complaining for him, good thing he didn't live in the internet era. He would call before 311, I'm talking about, 25 years ago. There wasn't a day that he did not call the mayor's office. He didn't call the Better Business Bureau. He was complaining to everyone about everything. He's a complainer. He's a miserable human being. Always complains. And that's what they do, is they complain. It's not good for me. It's not comfortable. It's this. It's too hot here. It's cold at night. And by the way, Moses, where is Sira Basar? Where is the pot roast that we got so used to eat in Egypt? Bologna. They didn't have bologna either. They had nothing in Egypt. Give me a break. They were slaves. Their possession possessed with complaining that they even changed reality. It was so good for us there. It was so wonderful there. We want to go back. We ate every day. Fish, meat. We want to go back. What meat did you eat there? You were in mud all day long. Egyptians didn't give you anything to eat. You were slaves. They don't see the good that they have. When you're complaining, you are failing to recognize what is it that you have, the good that you have. So then the man comes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives a man, Mishamayim, room service. He doesn't ask for tip either. No tip, it's fine. Everybody gets its exact amount that he needs according to what he deserves. Whatever he needs, he gets. All the flavors in the world that you want are there. Chazal says that if you want to do chesed with somebody in the desert, how could you do chesed? You never needed anything, everything you had. How could you do it? So they say, let's say for example, let's say I never ate osvo, right? You ate osvo. So I said, hold on, I have a kavanah. I'm going to take the man. I'm going to hold your hand. You're going to take the man also. And when you eat it, you're going to imagine in your mind the taste of osvo or pilaf, whatever you say. Oh. I pilaf, okay, and I pilaf. I'm from Turkey. I would experience that flavor because you had experienced that as well. If you, for example, never had imam bayaldi, you never had this, right? You want to hold the man? I'll tell you, imam bayaldi. Special dish that the Turkish people make with a lot of olive oil, with eggplants and chopped meat. Oh, it's delicious. You can die for it. Imam bayaldi means the imam pass out. It was so good. So that's the chesed that we do to each other. Any flavor you wanted is there. It is a miraculous food. Now, not only that, every single day you have it. Every day you have it. You don't have to worry about it. You have the man every day. Tomorrow, if you're going to have it, you're not going to be good tomorrow. It's going to go bad. Every day. What do you learn from that? Well, first of all, you don't have to accumulate. You don't have to keep, to stash. You don't have to worry also, what does he have? Why you got more than me? For whatever reason. If I would go to, let's say, your tent, you had more than me. Get up in the morning, 4:00 in the morning, I've never sleeping. All right. Take my man, put it in your thing, take your man, give it to me. You have like this, I have like this. Guess what happens to mine? Goes bad. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. Now, every time in our life, our whole entire life, we calculate all the time. Let me see. If I'm going to help him, what do I get out of it? Maybe I get some kickback. Maybe he will owe me. But 1 second. He might owe me more. I might benefit from him more. So okay, I don't want to help you. I want to help him. We measure all the time. Is it worthwhile for me to help him? It's not worthwhile for me to help him. All the time, there's cheshbonot. Everybody needs to know you get exactly what you deserve. No more, no less. And it does not make a difference what I think about the other or what the other one thinks about me. Everybody gets his portion. If I have a yeshiva with 50 guys and the other person has a yeshiva with 5,000 guys, if I would say, why he and not me, there is no greater choser emunah, lack of emunah in Hashem, than thinking, why he and not me? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you 50. He gave him 5,000. You take care of your 50. What's better? To have 50 guys and to have 50 guys? Or to have 5,000 guys and have 20 guys? What do you care what he has? Ooh, this shul has more people than us. Let's steal people from this shul. This guy has more business than me. I'm not going to worry about how I'm going to make my business better. I'm going to worry about how I'm going to make sure that he has less business than me. I'm going to steal business from him. That's choser emunah, lack of belief, first class. Whatever he has, he has. Whatever I have, I have. Rabotai, Bal Tachmod, the last of the 10 Commandments, is equal to the first one, Ani Hashem Elokecha. If you are violating Bal Tachmod, don't tell me that you believe that there is a God, because that God gave him more than you. Why? Because that's what he wanted, and it's none of your business why. So you have no business to desire what he has. If this guy has his job, and he's my supervisor, and I work underneath him, that's what it is. I should try to undermine him, to throw him out, to take his parnasah, and then I'm going to call myself a religious person, a person with ethics, a moral person. It's an atrocity. That's what the man is teaching you. If you think all the time, what does the other one have? What does the other one this? Why I don't have? You are never going to let your talents come out. Because you're always busy. Let's say you're a gifted drummer. If you're going to be busy, that I am better than you, you're never going to develop your talent and therefore never be a drummer. Gifted drummer in potential, practically lousy. Whatever you have, each and every one of us has talents and gifts that the other doesn't have. So don't worry about the other one, what he has. Worry about what you have. Take what you have and make the best out of it. That's Bal Tachmod. And the man is teaching you that. And this is how I'm going to bring my talents to be expressed in the most best way. In other words, binkom liitlonen, instead of complaining, tacharishun, be quiet. Concentrate on action. Concentrate on positive doing. Don't look at how more beautiful this person is. I tell this to women. Don't worry about how skinny she is or how this. Look at what you have and make the best out of it. Feel good about yourself. Be positive about yourself. That positiveness would spread out. But when you're negative, that negativity will spread out and mainly, in any case, you will feel miserable. You feel good about what you have. Feel that you want to do something with it. Your surrounding, it's like a ripple effect. I think you need to understand. And that's the lesson of the man. Let's do the best that we can with the tools we have instead of wasting our lives in complaining and comparison. Shabbat Shalom.